Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis and today I'm going to be sharing my February TBR for 2024. So I would like to share that I did attempt to do this last year as well for Black History Month. If you are interested in that, feel free to check out the cards above. I will admit most of the books on that list I did not complete even to this day. Some of those you may see repeated here along with various arcs that I received through NetGalley. It is my first time using that, so I don't know when I'm going to actually complete them. Chances are they're not going to be done before publication, but we're trying. And yeah, it's been interesting trying new authors. More recently, I've been getting back into historical romances. I've been trying some fan fiction and enjoying it. I've been checking out backlists of authors I already know and love. So I will admit most of the books, if not all of the books, that I am picking for Black History Month are authors who I've read before and I have enjoyed. Any of the arcs that I received are new to me authors. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, the first book I have here is Wicked in His Arms by Stacey Reed. This is book 2 in the Wedded by Scandal series. It follows Tobias and Olivia. So Tobias is an earl, and he does seem to want to maintain this level of control, and that includes hoping to marry an agreeable woman, but under circumstances he finds himself in a closet with Olivia and they are caught. So in order to protect her reputation, they do have to marry, and she's more outgoing, it sounds like. He is trying to resist her. So marriage of convenience, historical romance, I'm here for it. I've been getting back into Stacey Reed's backlist. I actually just finished one for January, so I'll be talking about that in my January wrap up. But this is just one of her other books I'm hoping to get to, hopefully soon. Another book by Stacey Reed I'm hoping to get to is The Irresistible Miss Pepperwell. This is book 2 in the Scandalous House of Calden series. It's supposed to follow Philippa and Anthony, so it sounds like Philippa has an unfortunate experience with another man in her life, so this forces her or convinces her to put up her ice walls and keep anything out. She's more cold to people, whereas Anthony, he can't help but be intrigued by her and he wants to woo her, but he also has secrets, so they kind of have to navigate through that. I haven't heard too much about this one. Again, I did read the first book in this series as well. It's a historical romance. I don't know much more than that. I'm just trying to get through a backlist. Now, of course, I'm hoping to hop back into Beverly Jenkins' books, and I have Winds of the Storm. This is book 2 in the Levesque family series, and yes, I did include this last year, and no, I did not get to it clearly, but this is supposed to follow Archer Levesque and Zariah Lafayette. Zariah is essentially a spy for the Union side, for pro-freedom and all that, and she did essentially save Archer at some point, and they never expected to run into each other again, but of course fate would have it as such. And she didn't intend on continuing. It sounds like from the synopsis she was going to retire, but then she was put on one last mission, and during said mission she runs into Archer. She can't help but try to maintain her secrets, but it's hard to do so when you have Archer there and can't help this connection between them. So again, historical romance. It's around the Civil War period and post-Civil War period. It is a series. Clearly, I believe there are 4 books in the series total, and I just never proceeded after the first book. So yeah, I will get to this eventually. Next book I'm hoping to get to is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This actually came out a few years ago. It looks like 2021. I've been hearing nothing but good things about this book. It is highly rated on Goodreads, but it's supposed to follow Shane and Eva. They are both writers in their own respective genres, but it seems they knew each other when they were young. They had a splendid week together. but unfortunately they disconnected. Years later, they still proved to have that same chemistry, if not more, as adults, and they end up helping each other in their respective fields, it sounds like. Ava is, though, trying to resist that chemistry, but she does want answers. So I am curious how this is going to work. It does mention some observations of Black life and conditions of modern motherhood versus the consequences of a motherless experience. So I am intrigued about this. There are layers to this, and sounds like there could be some icing. Who knows? And this was also nominated for Best Romance in 2021. So now, the last book I'm hoping to get to is Winter's Eve, Then, Now, and Always by A.E. Valdez. I did already read book one in this series. It's the Three Kings series. I enjoyed it enough to continue. This book, however, did just come out last year, I believe, toward the end of summer. So I am hoping to finally get around to it. And it is more so a holiday romance following the love story of Winter and Eve. Yes, his name is Winter. In fact, Winter King is his full name. And his fiancee, Eve Valentine, they have a history, but it seems on his end he's the one who broke things off, broke her heart, whatnot, and they had a fallout 10 years ago, but now, present day, it seems fate is on their side, kind of, but Eve's best friend did fall in love with Winter's brother in book one, so in this book, it's their second chance. Hoping we get to see what exactly happened years ago and how they are able to rekindle that. So, I'm curious enough, and I know holidays are kind of over, but I'm here for the vibes, and it's still cold where I am, so that's that. Now I'm going to share some of the arcs that I'm hoping to get to, preferably in February because they are being released around February or have already been released. And first one I have to share is The Duke's Desire, which is book 8 in Erica Ridley's Dukes of Christmas series. It is less than 5-hour audiobook that I gained access to, but it sounds like this is supposed to be the romance between a spinster and a blacksmith who is actually someone who was of noble birth for the French. I only know that because I listened to a snippet, only a snippet, in the very beginning. But yeah, whenever I get to this, it is book 8, so I kind of feel uncomfortable starting in the middle, but I'm going to do it anyway because I have access to it. So there's that. Next book I've already started, but I'm not even 25% in yet, and that is The King and Vi by Shana Galen. This is book 1 in the Misfortune's Favorites series. It does have a little bit of magic related to it. I would say, just based on the first couple of chapters, that it is reminiscent of Beauty and the Beast because the leading man who goes by King, that's not his full name, but since he is titled of Kingston, he goes by King with his friends, and there you go. And Vi is his love interest, who is a woman who owns one of the local pubs, whatnot, that he and his friends had trashed. So that was the night before his birthday, his 30th birthday, I believe. But when he was younger, he was cursed by a witch, saying that he would lose everything that he held dear on his 30th birthday because of something he did when he was younger. So it was a consequence of his actions. When he gets older, he has people coming after him for money that he currently does not have access to because of said consequences that resulted on his birthday. And one of the people he affected was Vi. Vi is also trying to restore the finances that he and his friends didn't pay for the night before. But King convinces her to take him in, hopefully temporary. But yeah, that's about all I know so far. Because of the name of the series and how this book started, I already have a suspicion who the other leading men will be in the following books, because Misfortune's favorites is mentioned in the first chapter, if not the first two chapters, something like that. Next book would be Not in the Plan by Dana Hawkins. This is a lesbian romance, and it's supposed to follow Mac, who is a writer with writer's block, and she meets Charlie, who is an optimist and the owner of said shop that they meet in. So they share some stories. It seems Charlie is one to share them with Mac, but then Mac decides to use it in her work. And it seems there's some secrecy there. It also is mentioned to be a rom-com aspect. I'm not too sure how I feel about rom-coms yet, but some have definitely made me laugh, especially in fan fiction. Seeing characters that I love already being put in a humorous setting, it's been great. So who knows, maybe this will work out for me. I'm looking forward to it. After that, I have The Duke's Unexpected Love by Alexa Aston. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but this is supposed to be book one in the Strongs of Shadowcrest series. Truth be told, I know nothing about the story other than I like the cover. Name sounds similar to mine. And the title. I don't know much more than that, but yeah, it describes the lead to be a virgin widow and a man who returns home after years at sea. So, whenever I get to this unsure, new to me author, we'll see. Another historical romance I have is Awaken the Heart by Penny Fairbanks. This is book one of the Society of Swans series. Again, I don't know much about it. I was intrigued enough by the title. The cover is okay. Yeah, that's about it. I didn't really need to know more to request it, and my request was accepted. So, moving on. Last book I have to share today is Sarah Reddy's Switched, and this is a new adult romance. It is also mentioned to be women's fiction. But if you are familiar with the plot of Freaky Friday, which is more so a mother-daughter relationship in that movie, or it's a boy-girl thing, which is high school related movie, switching the bodies of the two love interests, I assume it's leaning toward that, again, based on the cover, so that has a little bit of the magic element, and it is an audiobook that I gained access to. So I'm curious enough, and I get through audiobooks considerably faster than physical books. So that's all the arcs I have today. And those are all the books on my February TBR, of course, subject to change based on my mood. But let me know in the comments down below what you're hoping to get to. And I'm Alexis. Until next time, take care and happy reading.